First off, we have player against RecoN. Okay, so most everybody out there probably knows RecoN. He played against Mista in the grand finals of the Woolaloo tournament. He's been popping off on a variety of RTS games. He just recently joined Tag, so if you see his name up there, TAG RecoN. So most of you guys know RecoN. Player's a little bit of an unknown, however. Player's a big. If you've been around the competitive scene for a long time, you definitely know who Player is. He's serious business. He can't be overlooked. He doesn't venture into 1v1s as much, but when he does, he's an absolute beast. And the proof's in the pudding. He's up here in the quarterfinals. So
Yeah, and
what's your take on the first series?
I think player for Retold has honestly just played 1v1. That's my impression at least. And
Mm.
back in the old game, he was playing Hades a lot, and he was playing team games a lot, like you mentioned. And I think he is most comfortable playing that Greek. And we also see RecoN banning out Poseidon, player first picking Zeus, and then RecoN taking that Hades away from him. So definitely, Greek is the civilization of choice for a player. But then Odin, Ra, Frey, some interesting gods to boot there, and I can definitely see him playing them really well too.
I'm excited. I mean, of course, by all means, he's definitely a Greek boy at heart, but it doesn't mean he can't venture those tentacles out into the Norse realm. Seeing an Odin and Freyr pick there, that especially with Freyr, that tickles my pickle, man. I want to see some big bad explosions. So I'm hoping for I'm hoping for a best of five where all five games are played, and maybe we can see an inferno.
Yeah,
Anyway.
the first game here, interesting. I'll talk about the Hades pick for RecoN here, because he's got a history with Hades on Blue Lagoon, where he was playing against yours truly. When you play Greek, especially Hades on Blue Lagoon, you can make an exceptional arcade gauge build order with the Vaults of Erebus, where you herd those giraffes into your town center. So I'm looking for RecoN to do that build order. And then the way that you follow up, there's a plethora of different variations. Pretty much all the strategies that you do with Greek, you can do that. But it's sort of getting kick-started by that early Vaults of Erebus. So I think Uranus is a great pick against Hades, but on Blue Lagoon, with the Vaults of Erebus start available for RecoN, I'm really interested in seeing how this is going to play out.
Aside from the start, do you think that it favors does it favor a specific god, Uranus versus Hades? I think it partially depends on the map. The gold and, second, third hunt generation.
It does, but I do. If you ask me who's favored, I would say Uranus is favored over Hades. He's just
Mhm.
got that. He's just got those good units. The Terma in particular is menacing against Greek. They have the same speed, I believe, as Hippias, and their range. You can just continually hit and run, and it's so obnoxious to play against.
Sure. Well, here we go, everybody. With no further ado, I believe we are able to go into game number one. So we're jumping right into it. Too. Buckle up. Are you ready to go? I know I am.
I think there's some rope voice there. Maybe you disconnect and reconnect.
Okay.
Hello. Ah, I hear you. Ah, good.
Okay.
We're in,
Are we good
right?
to go? I'm in. Are you in? I'm
I,
in. Are we
I'm
in?
in. Startup difficulties here. But okay, this is interesting. We're looking at Hades already, and there is no herding happening, and there is no wood chopping or gold mining happening either, really, is there? So it's no early Vaults of Erebus. This is interesting choice from RecoN, if you ask me.
Well, okay, so in up here on player side, nothing really interesting to talk about in the Aranos economy. Pretty simple stuff. We're not getting early hunting dogs or anything like that, so he's just doing his thing, right? Um,
Yeah, but
uh,
that said, with Uranus, you can go for either a 330 for super fast early aggression, or you can even go for something like a 420. And it actually amounts up to you playing quite differently as Uranus. just whether you advance 1 minute later or sooner.
Of
So
course.
I expect something like a 4 minute advance from player and get some good sky passages out on this Blue Lagoon.
Having said that, back over to the recon side of things. You mentioned that he's not going for Vaults of Erebus. Is there? Tell me why. I mean, does I think you can still get a really good advance time if you do that Vaults of Erebus build.
Yeah,
So
yeah. This
so
is
is
it.
he?
Man, I see the Hades pick on Blue Lagoon, and that's and I just think that it's such a good map for it because the build order, like I said, you do with Hades on this map, you can just get away with pretty much everything else that RecoN is doing now, except you also get a Vault of Erebus. So
Mhm.
I expect maybe what we're gonna see from RecoN is a fast second TC, because then it would make sense that you don't go for the early Vault of Erebus because that's gonna delay your TC a bit. We do see probably an advance now from RecoN, so it's gonna be a 4 minute advance, and then I
Yeah.
expect a second TC. We'll see though. Who knows?
Well, look at his economy. And by the way, of course, Soup would be, ultra, attentive to the build orders. We got the build order king here, folks. But I complete. Okay, so vodka, if we can. There's a back TC over on the Hades side, over on Recon side with food behind it. There's some delicious gazelle meat, some venison back yonder. Hello, hello. And if you look at his economy, he's got a lot on gold, lot on food. So honestly, to me, that says hello, straight second TC. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And the fact that he didn't go for the early balls of Erebus also told me that it is the second TC. And then 1200 food, like I said, with gazelles in the back there, he's gonna have a lot of food to play with. There's also the berries and the chicken. We've got the sky passage over on the left side here. That can be used both to secure the hunt and build the town center if under a pressure there. So that's a good sky passage. I think
By
player
the
also. Sorry.
Can we real quick about and here we go, we're going to the second town center. This might be a good opportunity, Soup, to mention that in terms of the Sky Passage, right? Sky Passages recently have been changed on the most recent patch, but we have a little announcement to make about the patch, everybody. We're playing actually, well, hold your
Let's wait. Let's
horses. We
wait.
got a
This
Carnivora to delay the TC.
This is so strong. The Minotaur is good against it, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. This is so important.
Is he gonna keep it up? Is he gonna keep it up?
I don't know. I don't know. This is so crucial. So
It's going
not
down.
It's not gonna go up.
Look!
Such a win. Wow.
That's
And RecoN is. He's shaking his head right now, asking himself, why was Ajax not there to begin with? Because
yeah.
if Ajax was there, then the carnivore would have died very, very early. And then, dude, RecoN, he's forced now to build a storehouse and get even more wood. Because when you lose your town center while it's being built here, he lost, I think, like 40-50% of the price.
Yeah, vodka just showed up in the top left. We can see his resources. 224 on gold, 150-ish on wood. He just lost so many resources. What's the follow-up, man? Like, we already see Terma coming out for player. So what's the follow-up? He's having to go back home. He doesn't get the gazelles. That's tons of idle time on his villagers, his economy. What's the follow-up for RecoN? How do you survive against this? Go
He's
Hippias, I suppose?
He's getting Vaults of Erebus. He's getting tower upgrade. So even with that, he's going to ensure that he's going to get a higher resource income per minute than what player is getting. And the Vaults of Erebus will do that. It's 2 gold per second, so 120 gold per minute. So this was a disaster for RecoN, but he's getting the tower upgrade. He's getting the boosted economy from Vaults of Erebus, and he's trying to slowly fend a comeback here. For player, I think, wow, he's getting second TC now, isn't he?
That's what it looks like, unless he's going for that elephant. Yeah, TC right around the corner. That is so brutal, dude. He stops Hades from going for 2 TCs, and then he just takes it himself. What a slap in the face for RecoN.
RecoN getting pickaxe, RecoN getting hand axe. He already got that Vaults of Erebus and the watchtowers, and this is so good for player. Not only does he have map control now, you see him just patrolling around with these units, just ensuring that RecoN isn't doing anything fancy, but he's also getting that TC now. So the Vaults of Erebus, all the economic upgrades that RecoN are getting, it's not going to amount to much because that second TC just so much more effective than what RecoN is getting.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. What vodka, if you could, what building is he dropping right there next to the tower? Is that possibly military academy? Okay.
It's just a standard.
Well, I mean, hips. What do you hippies? Hoplites? I mean, again, what's the militarily speaking? What's the play here? You were talking about how threatening Terma are. It's not like Hades hoplites are the best thing in the world.
Nope. They definitely do get targeted down by those termas. But the thing about Hippias that I've come to understand by good Greek players is that they get out. The longer the game goes, the worse the Hippias becomes. Whereas with hoplites, especially when you go through Athena, you get those units are just going to scale really well into the late game. So that's what RecoN is doing. Like he's getting his upgrades, he's getting his watchtower, and he's just scaling into late game. So he's getting the good units for that as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, and
Well,
we're also
what?
looking at the 52 favor in for player already. Only 3 oracles, but he could have even more. 12 favor per minute right now. Another TC attempt here. This one surely will go up, won't it?
Oh, if he really needs it, he's got restoration. Yeah, we got a possible Carnivora usage.
Oracle
56 favor in the
Oracle
bank.
is gone now, though. The reason he was able to put that Carnivore before was because I had a really sneaky Oracle over here, but it's gone now. So this TC should definitely go up now.
Man, that's so interesting. He's just going for the later town center. I think it's good ultimately. Again, he's got that huge patch of Gazelle behind it, and so on and so forth. But there's a Carnivore again. He's coming in for the backup, or the follow-up rather, with a Shockwave Soup. Are you kidding me? TC's going up for sure, but is it going to force a restoration?
But there's some nice damage dealt to RecoN here still. One villager dead, and I think surely a few hoplites died in that process too.
Oh, of course. Oh, okay. Here's the thing. Sure, Carnivore was used. Sure, Shockwave was used. Did some damage to RecoN. We saw at least one villager go down, some hops, etc., and so on and so forth. I think that was a little bit of a win, however, for RecoN, because A, he did not have to use a restoration to try and get that TC up. B, the 2 god powers. Aranos used 2 god powers to try and do some damage there, and he
But
survived it without too much of a problem.
let me just remind you, this is Uranus though, and player has added an additional oracle now, so he's gonna get something like 16 favor per minute now. It's 12 now, but it's going to be more when that oracle gets into position. And
Yeah.
dude, you see Shockwave, next cast is 15, Carnivora, the next one is 25. Eventually he's gonna go through Hyperion, and he will be able to recast Chaos. Like this is what Uranus does. He's spamming god powers, and yeah, we see Aphrodite coming in surely from RecoN here. He has to just manage his villages properly. I think both players are now realizing we're nearing the time when second gold mine is gonna come into play. Although for RecoN he does have Vaults of Erebus, so he's honestly not forced to go heroic just yet. He
Well,
does go for it.
plus also your market. So second gold mines have not. They matter. Of course it matters. Gold mines are always going to matter. Until you have a trade route or something like that set up. So by all means, gold mines are going to matter. But it's not necessarily a death sentence, especially when you got Vaults of Erebus kind of banking up some of that gold for you.
Yeah, and just looking at the way the player plays here, positions his army, I'm not even sure if he quite realizes it. That look at this gold mine. There's like 1,000 gold left remaining there, 1,200 even. So like player, the second gold mine, the gold control that it looked like player was kind of going for here. It's gonna take a while, dude, before that comes into play.
Yes,
Oracle is in
very true.
position though, so yeah, you can definitely see what he's going for. Wow, coming in for RecoN. He's getting a lot of nice upgrades here. Good little damage on the watchtower, just poking here. Player trying to figure out what's going on with RecoN, and this is certainly one way to do it.
Indeed. Well, okay, so Aphrodite's coming in. I believe we got Hyperion coming in on the other side. He just clicked up, yep. So we're, just like Soup said, we got Chaos coming in, potentially some Satyrs. I don't know, Favor. Chaos is so dadgum brutal. Using the Favor on Chaos, typically the way players choose to go. Another tower going down, however.
Yeah, this is kind of brutal for RecoN because there's the defense factor of those watchtowers, but there's also the line of sight. Like RecoN is just being pushed into his own small little corner now. So you see his vision here, it's very little here. Just the Pegasus helps out a bit, but second line coming in now. I want player to make Satyrs. They're so good against Greek, and Hoplites in particular, they're great against.
Well, okay, so we can let's see. I think I think that's Sarissa coming in. The far left upgrade, if you could, yeah, Sarissa. So that gives hoplites a little bit extra, makes them just a little bit better. But also on top of that, I thought I saw some Peltas that he was making as well. We see a couple of Peltas as well
Yeah.
in the
If
army
you're
update.
if you're a player of who's as good as RecoN is, you can micro those pelt tests very efficiently. You see 19 range. They
Wow.
outrange the Terma so heavily. So if you just have 5, 6, 7 of them, they're really, really good at sniping those ranged Atlantean units down.
Plus potentially, man, tons of, yep, there's Gemini coming in. We got Satyrs coming in for sure. Plus there's, here we go, potentially a big fight.
Yeah,
Players choosing to chill.
I think RecoN is gonna be good here. The Walls of Erebus, it cannot be underestimated how strong it is. The fact that RecoN is now 13 minutes moving outside of his base for a gold mine instead of 10,
Yeah,
11 minutes, it's so huge. But heavy
true.
infantry in for a player as well. Let's see what's going on here.
Here we go. Where we gonna see the chaos? We gotta see the chaos, but we have curse and restoration. There's the chaos. There's the restoration. There's the carnivora. What about our shockwave? Let's get the. There it is. Everything's happening. The
Nice.
fortress is definitely going up, but still, Soup.
Dude,
He's
the,
got a
re-
lot of hoplite numbers, but are
the
the numbers
restoration was so
dwindling?
big here, but the heavy Murmillos, dude, I'm telling
Yes.
you, they're so strong.
Plus, they're heroes, man. We're
Yeah, they're
going. We're
heroes.
going. Was it B doing the whole hero Atlantean shindig? That thing might just go down right away, Soup.
Wow. And yeah, dude, RecoN, he is behind in this game from all the early action going on, and you see player, he's forcing this fight here. He knows he has to take advantage of it.
Oh yeah, that's idle. Look at all those villagers repairing, dude. That is resources invested into repairing it. Plus, they're not even gathering. Is it gonna go down? Is it gonna go down? Boom! It's down, dude.
Down.
Brutal. What? The sentinels are in. You can use sentinels around fortress. For those of you who forgot, man, you only used it earlier, right?
Yeah. But look at the comp now from player. He's adding in Contarius too to try to target down those spell tests.
Yes.
The hoplites, I think they're losing to the Murmillos, and then the Termas. It's not even adding Arcus. This is interesting. Usually you'll see Atlanteans going for heavy Arcus spam here, but only now do we see the first one coming in.
Dude, real quick, we have our first satyr coming in, right? We have our first satyr coming in. The satyr's a little bit slow to get over here. I think satyr spam could potentially be brutal. Look at this tree line right here, Soup. Look at that little choke
Yeah.
point. We have the hill on the side and then the wood line. It's a little choke point that could be awkward for either player, honestly, depending on the fight that they take.
RecoN is struggling here though. He doesn't have Toxotes in the back to really take advantage of the choke point, and we just see RecoN once again forced to move away from that spot.
Oh my gosh, dude, the Sentinels are trying to just save him, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. He can maybe sneak over to the top side. We saw that other gold mine up on the top side. He can maybe do a little sneakarooski.
There's an
And maybe
Oracle there,
survive.
and the player is even building a
Yeah.
sky passage up there too now, so he's just going for this goal control now. Wow. Desperation move here from RecoN.
Exactly, man, exactly. I don't know if this fortress is gonna be enough, even if he does get it up, dude. The economy is just so much further ahead for player. That's earlier second town center. All the just the army, the economy, everything. He's floating so many resources.
Everything is
Smokes.
dying for RecoN here. He's down by 40 civilian population, and all the military is gone for RecoN. He's got 9 military population remaining, and still haven't secured this gold mine. And like you said, the cliff, the forest, it's so good for player to just sit behind and ensure that, yeah, you see this?
Yeah, the snipers, man. He's got the snipers, and players got the victory, man. He snipes his way to victory, baby. Hello, hello. Game 1, 1-0. The team game Titan player picks off
Yeah, really
RecoN.
showing that he's not only good in 1v1, he's also good at Uranus, apparently.
Indeed. 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 I mean, by all means, that Carnivora, man, AOM is such a snowbally game.
Yeah.
The economy was pretty close, man, for quite a bit of the game, but eventually player just, he just shoots ahead with.
Yeah, I think when it's shooting ahead, it's because he got that second TC up a lot sooner, and
Mhm.
that's why you see this discrepancy occurring now.
Yeah, that first Carnivora man does so much damage. That is such a big difference between old Age of Mythology and Retold. The fact that if your town center gets destroyed while you're building it, you do not get those resources back.
Yeah, yeah,
That is
exactly. And
ultra
that's why
brutal.
RecoN was struggling so much. You saw him even building a storehouse.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, huge economic and tech advantage here for player. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Well, it took us a hot minute to get there, Soup. Yes, we had the Carnivora early on, but after that it was just kind of some positioning and some eco play, you know. But once the action dropped, oh boy, did it drop! That was chaos for about 2-3 minutes until the until he called it.
Yeah. Man, I'm so surprised thinking back to this game. Why was the Ajax not in position for RecoN? Like, RecoN must have played so many Greek versus Uranus or Gaia games at this point. He should know by now you need your Ajax if you're building that second TC, because surely a good Atlantean player will have an Oracle nearby, positioned, ready to build that, to cast that Carnivora.
And he had his Minotaur there, stationed there already, so it's not like he was ignoring that as a possibility. He simply had the wrong unit. Did he get a relic? I know we didn't pay a ton of attention to the relics in that game. Did Ajax maybe go pick up a relic or something?
Yeah, I imagine we didn't get to see it. He must have done something like that. Ajax. He must have been off Delhi welling. What is the word? Somewhere else. He wasn't where he was supposed to be. That's for sure.
He was dilly dallying,
Dilly dallying, exactly.
willy dilly dallying, willy dallying, willy dallying with the thingamajigger over there.
Exactly.
Well, okay. Do we know which map is the second map just yet?
So Tundra is the second map, and this will be RecoN's choice.
Indeed.
Um, Interesting map, Tundra. This Tundra map, people who've played AOM for a long while before the Retold iteration as well will have a lot of fond memories of this map, I'm sure. But this map's still not in the ranked pool. Do you like this map in Retold, Maiden?
I like it in general, man. I mean, it's got Hunt and I'm a Norse player. Of course I like it.
So the thing that makes
I-
Tundra different to every other map, yeah, pretty much every other map, is the fact that you start with two packs of 10 deer or elks or whatever they are. And this is really, really nice for a god like Odin, because it means you don't have to use Great Hunt early on in Classical or early on in Archaic. You can just wait for the Classical Age. And then you get 1,000 food rather than 600. And not just that, with Odin, you obviously have that hunt bonus, and you're playing Norse, so you just want that stable food income. So I expect probably an Odin pick from player.
Yep, that's exactly what I was just gonna say. And I didn't shoot off the top of my head. I don't remember all the. Actually, I should pull up the drafts. Can we look at the drafts by chance, Vodka, on this screen? Anyway, the thing here's my opinion, Sub. I definitely like the safe hunt, but at the same time, since villagers are a lot weaker, they're a lot squishier, some people say, on Retold. You can still raid, and even if you thank you very much. Even you can still raid and get a lot of damage done against your opponent, even a player like or sorry, even a god like Hades. Thank you, Vodka.
Yeah.
Loki
Isis
and
pick in
Thor.
from RecoN now.
Mhm. Isis and Odin. We've seen a lot of Tundra recently in Genesis Retold tournament in the Underworld Showdown tourney a couple weeks ago as well. We've seen a lot of Isis and a lot of Odin. I'm not surprised to see. I thought maybe RecoN would maybe bust out a Loki, but no, he's going for Isis instead.
I've come to realize the reason why people pick Isis here is because, yeah, she doesn't inherently benefit from hunting more so than any other Civ. But the fact that you start with that much hunt, that much food in your base, it just means that your fast heroic or heck, even fast mythic is so safe and so secure and fast too that you can just do so many things with Isis. You can even add in 3 monuments early on. You can still do the things that you want.
Well, let's jump in and see how many monument. Let's jump in and see. I believe they're ready to go. Are we ready to go? I believe they are. If they are, let's go. Tundra, baby. Let's go. Alrighty, folks. Here we are. Game number 2. Players ahead. 1-0. We here in the red. We have player in the red. Going for Odin. Looking good. Look at all that beautiful, delicious venison in his base. I love to see it, baby.
It is lovely. As a Norse connoisseur, this is the kind of spawn that you love to see early on, isn't it?
Oh yeah, especially on that right side, right next to the mini map. The fact that he's got just that right tucked against the side of the map. He's got his hunt is so defensive. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You're not really going to expect a lot of aggression early on from ISIS, but still, in fact having said that, ISIS over in the blue. Let's go take a lookaroo over at RecoN's base. RecoN playing ISIS over here in the blue. He's got a great base himself. That forward hunt, sure. But berries, second hunt, back gold mine. That's a great little base he's got there as well. Yes.
Yeah. He's already got that first monument. He's already pre-queued the Flood of the Nile. So he's going for that really, really nice ISIS build order where you get Flood of the Nile for that 1 food per second. And he's adding in a pickaxe here with that straggler tree. Now sending 4 villagers over onto gold. So that suggests to me either he's going for a fast temple for a fast advance, or he could even add in a second monument early on, which I've seen some ISIS player do, especially if you're going for Anubis. You really want those monuments out early.
Well, so having said that, Soup, I don't know how many games you've played against RecoN. Do you think he tends? No, we can look at the build order and kind of predict what he's going to go for. But is he more of what do you think he's going to go for? Is he going to go for Ancestors Eclipse and see if he can get an AE off on the economy? Is he going to go just heroic and Migdal unit play, with a push with Ancestors
I,
Eclipse? Is he going Anubis?
I
What's your
think
feel?
Anubis. If you're asking me, I think he's going for Anubis because Anubis is just the stable choice where you
Mm.
spam out a bunch of those Anubites, the dogs, as I like to refer to them as. And then you spam out, you get like 2, 3, 4 barracks out, and you get every time you have resources in bank, you spend them on units. And as a
Mm.
Norse player, when you're playing against that, you just find yourself with like half the units that the Egyptian player has oftentimes.
Mm.
And it's really hard to play against this Norse.
Well, actually, well, I believe was it last week? I believe we saw several matchups of Raw against a Norse on Tundra, and the Raw players decided to go. There's our temple. The Raw players decided to go very very aggressive, and it looked pretty decent in those games as well. So going classical aggression, I could definitely see it happening. Instead of
Yeah,
Watchets, however, with Raw, we're probably going to see Anubites, the Delgies. But let's see. By all means, let's see. Can we take real quick? Take a the one good and bad thing about forward soup, that is a forward obelisk that has potential ancestors clips written on it. Anyway, gold mines, exterior gold mines, that very often for both players, either the Odin player or Isis player, losing map control. If we're going to see a dynamic classical fight, losing map control is a death sentence. We saw it in game 1.
yeah,
Can be a death sentence.
these gold mines are aggressive, so there is definitely gold star potential here. If one player sits too tightly in their base, they are going to struggle for gold when they have to go for that. So
Yeah,
that is definitely
Anubis.
Anubis and Freya
Anubis
as
it is.
well.
Hmm.
How many monuments? Is it just the one for RecoN though?
Second one going up right now, next to the
Okay,
gold.
okay, okay. So the question
Yeah.
is, if he's going to add in a third, and if he's going to add in that Necropolis upgrade that Anubis
Mm.
provides, which makes monuments plus 25% more effective.
Hmm.
Hands of the
Real quick, is
Pharaoh, so he's looking for the Charon's Opal. It's a decent enough relic. Is there not another one? Oh, Chariot of
there,
Sibylline. That's the best. Dude,
dude.
it's the best relic in the game. I love that relic. And then Tower of
Well,
Cestus, not the best.
well, I mean, sure, but still, increased villager movement speed. That's a good one, dude.
Yeah.
I can't remember which game it was. Before we get too deep into this game, I just want to mention the 2 free golden lions. There was one match of of this tournament last week where it was on Anatolia. I can't remember the players because there was a couple of Chronos matches on Anatolia. Anyway, I could easily argue that the game was won because one of the players picked up the golden lions relic.
Yeah, exactly. Like of all the relics, that one is the one that has the most tangible effect in a lot of games early on. And
Mm.
Valkyrie just sneaking past those two Anubites,
Mm.
taking down obelisks early on. I like that use of Valkyrie early. It's hard
Wow,
to really get value out of her, but like taking down the vision around the map from the ISIS player, really good use, I think. And ooh, look at
indeed.
this.
Speaking of vision, is he gonna find these? Is he gonna
Oh,
find the hunt? Oh!
he sees the
He sees
Hersal
the
there.
Hersey!
You should
There's
know
another
something's
one!
up.
Oh, dude! They're
And
just the little spies, little James Bond just slipping right through the defenses. Holy smokes.
the Valkyrie taking down the priest. And RecoN noticing now those deer and elks, or whatever they are here, priest going down now,
Yes.
but yeah, he's noticing now those elks aren't being hunted, so they must be hunting somewhere else, is what
Uh,
RecoN can tell here.
well, honestly, like if you exactly. Ooh, is he gonna get stuck? No, he can jump out, but still.
Jump out. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's so funny. It's dude. You think you have this awesome ghost build. Oh, I trapped the Anubites. I'm gonna pick them off. Yeah, Jk. LOL. They're just gonna hop the fence. Dadgummit. Anyway, yeah.
The
But
priest
here's the
snipe
thing.
though,
Here's
the priest snipe from the Valkyrie turns out to be really effective here, because that does mean that these Anubites can't be healed up quite as easily as they would be able to otherwise.
true. True, true. We got some more jumping action going on here, by the way. Spears are entering the fray.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Interesting
so
that
here's
he's going for spearmen early. Oftentimes, if you're going for a myth unit spam, you'll support them with X-Men because they can take down Hearses, and then myth units can take down everything else, basically.
true.
But probably valuing the mobility of the spearmen instead here, and the ability to take down raiding cavalry.
Well, plus you can predict that your opponent is going to go for raiding cavalry as the Odin player, and so, and speaking of the pre-snipe soup,
5 priests added in here for RecoN. That could be a town center, but nope, it's 5 priests.
anyway, we got some counter raiding going on here, and I see a juicy food patch
Could
back
be
there that
really
he's
good. This
not
could be
going
really
for.
good. Look at it.
That's a
Oh, they
couple of
managed to
builds.
escape there.
Are they? Will they? Will they? Will they? Yes, maybe. Are we gonna pick off some priests? We got RC
Oh,
going down, dude.
one RC down, both villagers surviving, and they're going right back.
Exactly. The priest can just heal up the Anubite and the villagers and everything as well. We see, dude, this is interesting. Players really putting on the not really heavy pressure, but so far, I don't know. It kind of seems like he's done a little bit more damage that he's received.
I think it's what you gotta do playing as Odin versus Anubites, or Anubis in general, is try to get those raids going. Because if you're just amassing a big army and waiting for the big clash to happen, you're not gonna win that versus Egyptians. Because the
True.
Anubites can just jump all over the place. They're throwing X-Men if there are any. They're going to focus all their attention on those dogs, and they won't be able to hit them. It's just gonna be wasted. So as
Mm.
Odin, I like to start raiding. Use your mobility instead. Try not to get into a big clash.
Indeed, we see Nephthys coming in. I like this, man. I like this. Instead of we saw there for a little bit, a short amount of time. Some players tried to go for just a straight Ancestors Eclipse, straight fast heroic, AE on the economy, etc., etc. But we see player doing kind of semi-fast heroic type of a thing. A little bit of army. We got Nephthys coming in. I kind of like it, man. I like it. He has enough army on the field to put some pressure on player, force him to play some defense, etc.
Yeah,
He's dictating the game a little bit, I guess, is what I'm saying.
yeah, and player will have to move out for gold eventually, maybe in a minute or two. And by then there will be ancestors, there will be snakes ready as well. Prosperity not even used here by RecoN either, so he can probably use that for, building 2 or 3 make strongholds, or spamming out priests, or whatever he decides.
Mm, indeed.
Interesting use of snakes here, actually. Not quite sure what the idea is.
Was that a misclick?
Kind of looked intentional, but it's just so weird.
What just happened there? What was that all about? It's not like he had to even, panic and try and save his Anubites or something like that.
Yeah, they can
I'm
always.
saying that's a misclick, Sue.
Could be. This is such a weird misclick. Oh well.
No, it's just a distraction tactic. It's a distraction tactic. That's what it is.
Let's call it that. So, is player moving outside of his base now with this Ox card, or what is the deal here? Oh yeah, he is with the dwarves, and he's caught out already. There's one dwarf dead, probably about to be two. This is terrible for player. He needs to have an answer to all these myth units, and the ancestors there as well. It's so difficult because all he's got in the classical age are hearses, and they're so weak against all the barracks units that RecoN is getting. We do see Skadi coming in for player now, hopefully for him. Probably actually not. It's so far away. Ah, it is there.
Migdal's up. Migdal's up.
And Camel's coming in too. So many different units here from the Egyptian player. There's barracks units, there's camels, there's myth units. There's going to be ancestors, there's priests. And as a Norse player, you're scratching your head. What do I do against all of these different units? And we'll see if player has the answer. There's Necropolis coming in for RecoN now. And yeah, still just 2 monuments, but it is a nice little boon to him. Player is on the second gold mine now, actually. So RecoN playing a slow game here. He could have went for the full goal control, but I guess he's just saying he's using that prosperity. And what will he do with all the resources? He's just amassing a big army, I guess. So
I kind of like it though.
Yeah.
Because I mean, player's not yet heroic, man, and so sure, Frost will be coming in here in just a moment. We also have Thundering Hooves coming in as well. I kind of want to say I like it, but at the same time, now Frost can just counter the ancestors play here. Maybe not.
Yeah, so it's an interesting little game going on here. Are you going to use ancestors and then bait out the Frost, or are you going to hold it and then just say, okay, Frost and ancestors are not going to be used? So it's always interesting in this scenario.
Well, he's going for a town center, so he's really not going for that aggressive, really aggressive gold starve play. He's going kind of the slow burn, some would say.
It's what he got to do. If you decide to not go for the goal control, as we saw RecoN already deciding a minute ago, I think he should have went for that town center earlier, to be honest, even having used prosperity. But he's getting it now, and player does not have a TC, and I don't think he's going to add one either. So it's a big W for RecoN in that regard. He is going to boost his economy a lot more than what player is.
Well, I mean, look at players. Honestly, look at all those villagers. Look at all those Z's right around the town center. Player's economy right now, like he's gotten pushed off the wood. He's got a lot of sleepy villas right now. All the while, for the most part, RecoN's eco has been working pretty much this whole time.
Yeah, that's true. He's been hunting. He's been doing everything he wants to, and he hasn't been harassed, except for maybe that small raid on the 2 wood choppers, which didn't even do that much.
Exactly. We got a little bit of some eco pressure now, though. That's 1 vil down. He is ahead by a TC, however, so he can recover from that, no problem. The one big thing ISIS, or rather Egyptian economy, compared to the dwarves, the Norse dwarves
coming in so huge here. The extra mobility from these units is so big, but they actually caught out here. The cavalry deals extra damage to these raiding cavalry, so actually a lot of damage dealt here.
There is a Valkyrie to heal him back up, and still, is he going to lose one? Boom, there one goes. Oof.
And this is the patch where Odin has a 0.5 regeneration on those raiding cavalry per second, so yeah, not only is the Valkyrie there, they will also have some innate healing.
Indeed. Town center going up, I like that from RecoN, kind of matching TC for TC. Winter Harvest coming in, ooh.
Big raid. Damn, that's a really big raid. Especially if you look at the, wow, such a big raid. It's 55 to 38 villagers now.
Exactly.
RecoN's playing this tremendously. Like he's just saying, okay, I don't have to go for a crazy goal control. I don't have to do these big maneuvers. What is he even doing now? Going for the town center?
He's diving the TC. Come on, RecoN. I know he's got some cojones, but seriously, what is happening here?
Ooh, kind of caught out here. The raiding cavalry coming into a pinch here.
I know. By all means, we already said camels, are pretty darn good against raiding cavalry, especially medium raiding cavalry, but still, he's kind of stuck here with the army coming in from behind.
That was beautiful from player. Really beautiful. He's got so many throwing X-Men, though, and RecoN has done a great job. I don't know if he noticed those throwing X-Men, but the units that RecoN are building now, they're so good against the throwing X-Men, so... Except for the spearmen, of course. If he manages to just keep his spearmen away from them, those throwing X-Men are just going to be dead weight. But, ooh, look at the gold miners up there. Is that a big raid?
Hello.
Oh, it's another 4 bills. Gonna be big.
Dude. Well, so RecoN got that amazing raid on the woodline, and then he just kind of threw it away by, forgetting about his camels, losing a bunch of HP and whatnot on his and camels in the town center. But he kind of follows it up with some more eco pressure, a little bit more eco pressure here. This is a really weird game, in my opinion. Usually we see heroic age god powers, siege pushes, stuff like that. This is a lot slower of a game, kind of a raiding abuse type of a situation. It's different.
I think RecoN is playing this so smart.
Yeah.
He doesn't like he's got the upper hand, but he doesn't force anything stupid. That's the reason why this is a weird game. It's because you're thinking RecoN should be doing stuff, but instead he's just boosting his economy. Yeah, he's losing 2, 3, 4 bills here. Who cares? He's still getting really far ahead, I think. Actually, okay. True. Let's be real here. That's two good scenarios here for player both on the top side and the bottom side.
Yes. Yeah, sure, man. Plus, we saw him a little bit earlier. We saw him take his third town center, so he is up at TC. Yes, he is up at TC as well. That eco lead just going to get further and further ahead, which honestly, he needs those numbers as he's losing some units here. You talked about those throwing axemen, man. They're just going to shred this army if he's not careful. There goes the Scorpion Man, and we got some camel action on the bottom side. Hello, man. Speaking of diving TCs, player's going to dive his own TC, but there's no army at all anywhere near for RecoN. This thing's going down, dude.
What a move by player. I was just saying, those spearmen cannot go near the throwing axemen, and you saw why.
What?
The camels are not in position at all. This TC is going down.
And I think he just got heavy camels, by the way. So TC down for RecoN, but he's maybe threatening to take down his own TC if he puts his own aggression on this opposite side.
That's true. We saw before that the camels can actually do damage to these town centers if they want to. And there are creeps behind to take care of the frost giant. This is a weird game, I will admit it much.
Well, I mean, just look now, players taking the back town center of RecoN, actually. So RecoN, it's going to be 3 to 2 TCs if this thing stays up, which it looks like it's going to. It's going to be 3 to 2 TCs with more dead villagers. RecoN's kind of in an awkward position now. That was such an awesome move there.
Yeah, from player and grabbing the TC up there, like you said, and he's got the option to go for his own second TC, which he hasn't even looked at yet.
The back one, you mean? The back one?
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, this is so weird, man. I love how player is playing this. Osiris is pretty cute. That's interesting. It's going to take RecoN a minute to get there.
RecoN loves Osiris, and he loves getting those mummies out with the help from Son of Osiris and just a nice backline of chariot archers adding in camels in the front. You're going to kill so many units with the mummy special, and before you know it, you're going to have like 20 minions helping out your army.
He's going for the double ancestors, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's still got ancestors. You're right.
Yeah.
But
there's a frost.
Oh yeah, that's true. But the thing is, this doesn't work. When you get the mummy special, the minions will last longer, but it doesn't apply to ancestors. I'm about certain of that.
Well, Osiris is coming in. So here's my thoughts, dude. Sure, player took that TC up top, but if he goes up to Osiris and gets catapults going, we can see down on that bottom side, there are villagers around. There's villagers, in RecoN's main base, down on the bottom side, etc. So he can, and there's a siege works. He can get catapults going with the Son of Osiris push, where we could see, the big god powers coming out and whatnot.
Yeah, you're probably right that he does need to threaten the CC somewhat. Big fight here happening. I don't think player can win this.
No.
Camels are so strong, especially with priest back up against the frost giants. But yeah, the one big win for player right now is the fact that he's got the better settlement control, and that's what RecoN has to consider. Like, that's why you won't want catapults, like you mentioned.
Well, but the problem is, and by the way, look in the Osiris is coming in as we just saw, but also the villager numbers are basically the same right now. So here's the thing: if player can hold on to those town centers, that's nice, but at the same time, he's up TCs, and he's just going for mass military. He's not going mythic. He's not going mythic at all. So it's going to be really tough for him to fight against the Son of Osiris.
It will be very tough. I actually played this. Exact matchup versus RecoN, Odin versus Isis here. And once RecoN hit the Osiris, I was just struggling. I didn't know what to build anymore. So I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen here.
Well, I mean, look at this position right here, dude. Double
Wow.
Migdal right outside the main base. And remember, we saw Winter Harvest come in. There's Osiris, by the way. We saw Winter Harvest come in. That's the... Oh!
Damn. So we didn't get to see it, but I guess player knows this. Like I just mentioned, you see Osiris coming in. You know there's going to be mommy spam. You know there's going to be Mictal's already set up. It's just so damn difficult to deal with as a Norse player.
Dude! I didn't expect that! He just instantly throws in the towel! He was
It's like
throwing in the towel as the son of Osiris was being cast. The towel hath been thrown.
I think
Wow!
I think player didn't want that bad experience that he knew was coming in. Like
Dude,
just
seriously.
all those archers with the son of Osiris there, with the mummies incoming, it's just brutal. And player, he wants to keep up morale, so he says, "No, no, 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 I don't want to deal with this."
Yeah, we see RecoN's economy finally kicking up above players. It took them a long time to get there, but finally getting there with the bill numbers. Exactly, like part of it, you could think of it like player wanted to save his sanity for, other games. He's like, nah, it's not even worth the mental effort to try and fight against that in the row cage.
Yeah, yeah, it's so brutal, and I mean, I see where player is coming from. A bit of a, you know, if some people out there really wanted to see the son of Osiris in action and wanted to have those 30 minions on the field at once, would have been nice for the highlight reel, player.
I wanted to see it. Yeah, dude. That's a player's gotta up his level, man. He's gotta up his level for the viewer experience. That's what he needs to do.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Kalauger incoming now. So that would be player's choice, and that's where he plays his Greek, where he is most comfortable, where he is supposed to shine. So versus Gaia on Kalauger. I haven't seen much Gaia on this map, have you?
A couple times, yes, a couple
Okay.
times, and if not Gaia, then I think Iran. In fact, I almost have not seen any Egyptian, almost no Norse, mostly Zeus and some Hades, and a couple of Aranos, Kronos, Gaia picks here and there.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that, like you mentioned, Hades, Zeus, for the Scylla's in particular, they're so strong here. The fact that you have fish economy to give you a very nice, clean, fast heroic, and then on top of that, you get those Scylla's out just to ensure you win probably both sides of water if you're playing it right. It's really hard to deal with as a non-Greek player.
from the games that I've seen, Soup, the skill have make it by all means the skill make a difference in one side, but by all means. Athena hoplite aggression is really what is the threat from the Zeus side. So it seems like we got the game that we can jump into here in just a second. We'll see if he goes for more water play or more land play.
Yeah. The reason I said fast heroic, I'm pretty sure it was Pegasus Rush I saw doing it, and it just looked so strong. You get the restoration bronze combination of god powers, and
Mm.
that is brutal, I'm telling you. The Hydra with bronze seems unkillable. And then on top of that, you put the restoration. Hello? How do you even deal with this? Really sick
Indeed.
stuff from player. I love this. Saving himself a granary here.
Yeah, saving the granary, kicking, getting those caribou right next to his town center, amazing. And speaking of players spawning in the top right, we have in the red player playing Zeus. He's dropping a dock up on this top side. Nice. And down on the bottom side, RecoN, our blue Gaia player, there he is, dropping his dock on the opposite side. So a little bit of an opposite side play here. Well, so far we've seen a lot of players, interestingly enough, prefer to go to the top side on Kerlager. I find it very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what
Kind
it
of like,
is. I think it's something about where your camera is located when it's starting, and then it's just so easy for you to, I don't know, to select your Townsend and then click up or something. There's something mental about it, I'm pretty sure.
hmm. By the way, having said that, I really like the Retold feature where your units don't just automatically spawn out of your town center at the beginning of the game. You
Yeah,
can
it's so good.
move the garrison point, so you can garrison or the waypoint, whatever you call it, so you
Yeah,
can spawn them on the top side.
it's
Anyway,
so good.
anyway.
Player
Well, so
player's got his dog up here, and he's getting his fishing boat. So is RecoN, and yeah. You can decide to go for one side, or you can decide to go for two sides. I guess in a sense it plays out a lot like Anatolia, and I expect both players to be going on both sides here because early aggression from both. You did mention the Athena from Zeus. Do you expect that to work against Gaia?
Well, I mean, I kind of expect it to kind of work against whoever because don't forget, the water can be traversed, can be walked on
Yeah,
by land units. And so, like, we've seen a lot of the Zeus players choose to go for a good number of hoplites, maybe a couple of ships, but the kind of a similar idea as Kronos. You try and just bash your way quickly, and win one side of water quickly, and then go from there. Maybe harass the other side, maybe harass land, et cetera, et cetera. And since their hoplites can walk on the water right here, it's the aquatic terrain, whatever you want to call it. They can pick off fishing ships, they can pick off military ships, docks, et cetera, et cetera.
true. I expect from Gaia actually Oceanus with that Caladria and with the Carnivore action. It should be really good on this map too.
True. Especially maybe, well, you're thinking like carnivora, some defensive carnivora action. Caladra, you can
Either on
use
the,
in a variety
it
of
could
different
also be on the
ways.
dock, but also
Mm.
Caladria is actually a good counter to Scylla, especially if you get heroic, where you get the Nereid out, which is an anti-water myth unit. You
Mm.
slow down the Scylla with the Caladria, and then you hit the special attack with the Nereid, and then you just go back and wait for the special attack to recharge. I think that's a good counter,
That's brutal.
right?
That's a good idea, though. We see Athena coming in, by the way. He just clicked up, player just clicked up to Athena. There she blows, incoming. And
The
he's got,
Athena here.
check it out, dude. He's got two prayers, two Bills praying right now on the temple. Can we jump back there real quick, Vodka? Yeah. Boom. And then this
This
looks
many
like
on gold. What does this mean? It
Minotaur hoplites?
Oh, I'm interested. I can't tell what this means.
We've seen some Hades players go for two TCs. I don't think that's what he's going to go for. I wonder if this is going to be some Minotaur hoplite aggression on water, or maybe on land, just wherever.
I think looking at the economy, 2TCs honestly is a good suggestion. It could be what it is.
I don't. Although having said that, Soup, if you look at the second town center position of player, boom, that thing is out in the boonies, dude. That thing is nowhere near wood, nowhere near gold. Sure, there's a caribou back behind there, but I don't think strategically the second town center is the way to go. We see
Yeah,
Jason go right
absolutely.
to the water.
It's a trash TC for sure.
Mm.
All right, what do
Oh.
we see? Double military barracks in from player, probably.
Boom, boom.
Military academy. So it's just going to be, yeah, hoplites and a. Could be Minotaurs or it could be heroic at some point. We'll see.
Sure. Sure.
Leto in for RecoN.
Oh. Explain that, Mr. Atlantean player.
So Leto
Explain yourself.
Leto has been ignored for the longest time, but slowly starting to resurface here. And
Yeah.
I think the good thing about the automata is that they can repair each other, obviously. So if you play defensively, you can keep them alive infinitely. And you also get that 3 times multiplier versus myth units. So you can even take down Minotaur spam or even Hydras like we talked about. Heck, they can take down Scylla on this map.
Oh, that is an interesting point as we see some aggression on water here. Heracles, Jason, Minotaur, hoplites are coming over. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. Just the fact that look at that heavenly Minotaur walking on water, baby.
Yeah.
That guy is blessed.
The fishing boats are tanky, aren't they? They are
Yeah.
eating this eggs like they're
Yo, he's surfing, man. We got a surfing Minotaur busting down this fishing ship. What in the world?
you don't find that in other games, surfing cows like that.
I
We
know.
got that in we got it in Retold though.
You silly folks watching Age of Empires 2, Age of Empires 4. Oh, come on. We got surfing minnows here, folks. Let's go.
Love the play
And
here
it,
from player. He's getting now 2 heroes, 4 hoplites, the surfing cow like we mentioned, and RecoN trying to counter that with these fire ships. I don't know if they're good.
well, I know the fire ships. That's an interesting decision there. Maybe I don't know. They're cheap. I don't know. They're cheaper or something like that. Are they cheaper for the Atlantean? On
No,
the
no,
other
no,
side,
they're not.
however, vodka.
And they don't seem very effective either. They're targeting.
Yeah, Gold mine, man, forward gold mine.
This is nice what
What?
RecoN is doing. He's going full Terma, and what he wants to do is out micro the full hoplite. So it's such an interesting scenario because the hoplites in a direct confrontation when there is no micro, the hoplites will just dominate these Terma. But if you micro properly, you hit and run, then the hoplites aren't going to be ever able to hit their target. And yeah, and then RecoN is just going to slowly win. But this is an amazing action down here from player. He's killed so many fishing boats and fire ships for what it's worth.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. This is awesome. Is there another dock down there? I don't think. I think there's only the one dock. From what I can see. Yeah, a couple of fishing ships left over. Anyway, man, that having that forward gold mine, that really complicates things for player. I think that's really smart of RecoN to get some counter damage in. You got to do
Yeah.
something.
Now we see the Termas. They're playing defensively now, finally deciding to react to all this action down here. And a lot of these fishing boats are actually still alive. Good job to RecoN keeping them alive. And see, this is what I'm talking about. This hoplite army is strong, but against the Termas with the 5 speed or whatever they are, they cannot get to do their thing. And it's so obnoxious as a Greek player to have to play against this.
Wow, trireme coming in. Okay, I'm
That's a good
not.
call.
I'm not. Indeed, I mean that's one way to try and do a little bit of damage against a Terma, but there's too many Terma. That's a problem, Stu. There's way too many. They could just fight straight up against a trireme, no problemo.
Yeah. Interesting here, the way that the land water power is playing out.
Yes,
Now player
player
deciding to go
moving.
for the left side.
Indeed, there's man, but at the same time, if you look at the military numbers, they're dead.
Thea is in now for RecoN.
It is, but at the same time, he's okay, sure, but at the same time, there's hoplites on both sides. They have an even amount of military, but still, I feel like players done more eco damage, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm just so interested in this Thea because you know what that opens up the possibility for RecoN to do is to get that Poseidon secret upgrade, which makes cavalry faster, and Terma is cavalry.
Indeed, very indeed.
So the hit and run, you thought it was annoying before. Just wait till you see that upgrade in
It's
as
gonna get
well.
worse, huh?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, the fact that, players getting damage on both sides, it's really good, but at the same time, the docks are still up on both sides. And so, sure, he's done damage, but he hasn't really gotten that, that big win of completely kicking RecoN off of one of the sides of water.
Yeah, it's totally true. Also, the fact that RecoN gets heroic now, I forgot to mention, he can get ballistics, and I think ballistics is going to help out a lot if he can afford it here. He's going for the dryads now, so immediately putting down a Hesperides tree, getting Persane, very good job, even getting the shaft mine, and the 5 dryads are going to help out a bunch. The fact that he's got so many Termas means that he can target down the Archaic Age hero extremely easily, and then when you got so many dryads to boot, and he can add in Stymphalian birds or robots, whatever he decides, it's going to be hard for the Greek player to deal with.
I want to see some automaton spam, man. I don't know if we're going to see that, but I want to see automaton spam. They look so cool.
Yeah.
Their new designs in Retold look so freaking cool.
And you know what? Now, like 11 minutes into the game, it makes sense too, because it's going to be a question about goal control very soon. And then it doesn't matter too much that they're a 4.2 speed. They are slow, let me tell you, those robots.
Yeah, good point. Good. But still, they look cool, so it's worth it.
Yeah, and no, and my point was that when you're controlling gold, it doesn't matter too much if you don't have that much speed to work with.
Just gotta sit on a gold mine, baby.
Yeah.
Doc is still up, man. Doc is still up, so I think RecoN's been doing a great job keeping both sides of fish alive. This is awesome. He's
Yeah.
Gaia, so his economy is already going to be better, but it's just that much better because he hasn't really allowed player to get that win, like I mentioned before.
Yeah, and you look at the villagers, it's 40 civilian pop versus 40 civilian pop, but Gaia has got the Persane, he's got all those Gaia economic guild upgrades, and now we are seeing, there was a really nice villager kill onto player there, and Heroic is in for player, so I expect there to be a big clash soon. And we do have the Restoration Bronze God power combination that I was talking about. I hope we're going to see the power of it. It's so brutal.
Oh yeah. The gold mine's out, Soup, so sure, you can survive on a market for some time. You can maybe sneak ooh, you can sneak up to the
Oh, you
top side.
can.
Hello.
Not only that,
Okay.
dude, have you seen Flair? He's got 2 Hydras, and there's a third Hydra in queue right now. And I told you about Bronze and Hydra, right? It's gonna be
Yeah,
insanely hard for RecoN to deal with.
indeed. Stimpbirds are nice, however. Members, they can only be ranged. Sure, the heroes can range them, but there's no talks or anything on the field. So Stimpbirds do a decent job against myth units, right? That's something for RecoN.
Yeah. Wow,
Wow.
the Scylla is good. Like all
Wow.
the damage in up until this point has been RecoN has been able to dodge it, but the Scylla, no more. I think he's gonna have
Yeah.
to lose the water now.
By the way, real quick, up on the top side vodka, there was one unit from RecoN that went and really quickly mentioned saw the gold mine. We don't need to pay attention to it. Yeah, but there was one unit that went and snuck and saw the gold mine. I don't, or it's between those two gold mines up there. So I think that RecoN maybe does maybe know about the gold mining situation up top, possibly. That doesn't mean he's instantly moving up there. Yeah, there is a
Yeah.
term. Yeah, that's the term
I
that
think that
saw it.
Terma, I expect what RecoN did there was just to try to get all the black
Vision.
from the minimap away, basically.
Still, he's gonna see the
Yeah.
storehouse. If he
Yeah.
was close enough, he's gonna see that there's a storehouse there. That's the point.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But even then, this gold mine is so far away from RecoN's production, so forcing a fight over there with your production so far away, it's very risky.
Well, I think you just want to go for the mobility. Use your mobility. You send some term over there. Harass it. You're not necessarily looking for the gold star over there, but just the harassment.
Yeah, speaking of, I think that's what's happening now.
Indeed.
Well, one turn.
Almost.
There's gonna be more.
The Catascopos, man. He's earning his keep over there. Play defense there, boy.
Get away from there.
Big fight, man. Here it is, Soup. There's the golden bronze dinos. There we go. Are we going to see a resto? There it is. Is that a little bit of an early restoration? Plus, we have the Murmillo raid up on the top side. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Big RecoN raid. And RecoN, he's ready for this. He's got so many hero archers now, and that's why the early restoration was cast. It's because all those hero archers were targeting down that Hydra, forcing player to use it there. Either he was going to lose a Hydra, or he casts restoration and he keeps them alive. So he decides to go for resto, and I just gotta give credit to RecoN for that, I think.
Oh, indeed. He definitely prepped for it. Man, those things look beautiful. Look at him. There's only a couple seconds left of the bronze. So he's, this is nice from player, getting some map control, but he got knocked off gold, and now the bronze is over. So it's RecoN's turn to hit back on land.
And all the hero archers are still alive. Yeah, 2 of those Hydras has got an extra head on them, but the hero archers are gonna be so effective at taking them down now. No more restoration, no more bronze. They're not nearly as menacing as they were before.
Fortress is gonna help defend though, however, but here we go. Big move coming in here from RecoN. Chaos! Chaos there in that little
Such a nice
map.
pinch. And all the archers now on the side of RecoN are doing an amazing job. All of players' army is melee, and they're struggling to find a target. Meanwhile, most of RecoN's army is just sitting there, hitting, 2 Hydra set, 3 Hydra set, just like that.
No, dude, look at the military. Look at the military. Look at the military. Nothing left over for player compared to 108 pop for RecoN. Yo, he's taking out this fortress, and possibly we're gonna see a GG coming in here soon. That was a brutal fight.
The Hera, not the right call here from player.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Hera's coming in.
He clicked that a minute ago, and it's just 2,000 resources that he spent on going mythic instead of, getting a second fortress or getting some military upgrades, getting more units out, more production. And resultingly, he's just getting overrun here by the Atlantean unit spam.
But Soup is, I mean, look at this army. If he uses a lightning storm against this army of RecoN, can he delete the army and come back?
I don't think so. The big issue with Lightning Storm is you can actually run away from it. In order for Lightning Storm to be effective, you need to force your opponent to stay where they are. Or if they decide to retreat, you need to have an army there to continually hit them as they're retreating, so you get damage that way. But you see, player, he just doesn't have an army that is threatening enough to do that. Let's see when the Lightning Storm hits. Let's see it. It's gonna be here. Could be clutch.
Go goes the fortress. There's only one way he can really retreat here. Maybe he can use it a little bit behind RecoN, so that he like
It is
retreats through the lightning storm or something.
lightning storm is cast, and you see here, you just run away from it. It's building up the
Oh,
lightning storm, so it's dealing damage now, but it's only at the last 4, 3, 2 seconds, so it's really dealing damage. And now RecoN's army is away from the lightning storm area of effect, so it doesn't do much.
that was horrible! Oh, that was horrible!
This is what I was talking
Oh,
about. You need an army to pinch them in place, or
yeah.
you need to be focusing down an enemy gold mine where they have to still have their army located or something. When you use it like this, if you're the enemy, you just say, "All right, I'm gonna leave then."
See, yeah, see you later. You'd run away from the lightning storm, man. If only that was, in real life. Anyway, yeah, failed lightning storm, and I think that that might be a failed comeback from player at the same time. RecoN is in the driver seat, big time, economically, militarily, everything elite. Hydra for the win, kind of. Hydra for the comeback, maybe. Medusa for the comeback.
The hero archers are extremely effective against them. There were
Yeah.
probably a lot of them, but yeah, these hydras just haven't managed to find any value in this game, and it's a RecoN victory.
RecoN victory, man! Player starts off strong, but RecoN getting the back-to-back win on player's home map. Remember, like you said, Karlauger is player's home map pick for
And
game
not just that,
3. Boom.
it's players like this is him playing Greek, plays Zeus on his home map. And RecoN makes it look easy. I don't know if he made it look easy, but very, very convincing either way from RecoN for sure.
Well, you want to know what's interesting? Like player was going for fishing ships on water, right? He was going for fishing ships instead of taking out the dock. And
Yeah.
since the Zeus hoplites are good against buildings, I wonder if he should have picked off the dock first to stop the fire siphon. No, not fire siphons. The fire ships from coming out. And maybe he could have stopped that water play a lot faster
Yeah.
if he went for the dock instead of the fishing ships. He went for the fishing ships, but RecoN had a fishing ship spam. So it was kind of like just a waste of time. That allowed RecoN to continue fishing with all the other ships and build up his tournament numbers. And once those tournament numbers came out, they hit the gold mine and then they could play defense. And after that, it was kind of no problem for RecoN.
Yeah, and RecoN had only one dog on both sides, if I remember correctly. So I
Yeah.
think that would definitely be an option for player, maybe something to consider for next time you're playing against stuff like this. Like all the damage that he dealt on those fishing boats, it just didn't amount to much in the end. It seemed like
Uh,
RecoN was just saying, all right, you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm just going to play my game. I'm going to get my sick economic upgrades playing Skya. And eventually you just saw RecoN overrunning player here in the end.
RecoN overrunning RecoN. That's how OP he is, everybody. He can overrun himself. No, he's starting to possibly overrun this series soup. I mean, you mentioned that, player for next time, maybe he'll, thinking about getting that dock down instead of the ships. Anyways, he's almost done with the next time because this is match point for RecoN. It's a best of 5, right? It is a best of 5. First 1 to 3 matches. That means RecoN, he's up 2-1. One more win, and he goes on to the semifinals, man.
Yeah, and we have an interesting matchup here. Ra versus Loki on Savannah. I'm looking forward to this one. These are probably my two most played gods in Retold. I'm pretty sure. Like probably my two favorite gods, if I'm being honest. And if I had to tell you a favorite in this particular matchup, I would be struggling to tell you who's the favorite. Um,
Really?
I mean, yeah, because Ra can do myth unit spam, and a lot of people will say that Loki deals with myth unit spam easily because he's got the Herser, the good Hersers. That's what he's good at. But then with the Axemen to boot from Ra, you can really take down. Like you can let your myth units deal the brunt of the damage, and then everything else you do is just build Axemen to counter the heroes, and that's all you do. And this can be so hard for Loki to deal with.
Well, by all means. Excuse me. I think it was was it last patch or the one before? I can't remember exactly which patch it was. Um, Axeman got a buff was it against infantry? I think. And so
Yeah,
they're that much
yeah, they got a higher
stronger.
higher multiplier versus infantry.
That's what it is, okay? So Axeman against Herseer, it's just ridiculous how strong.
Yeah, yeah, and
Looking
we are
Axe
seeing
if
seeing a replay
The
here of the bronze restoration and see the hero Arcus targeting down the Hydra there, forcing the restoration. And now, as soon as restoration and bronze is cast, all RecoN has to do is just turn back and say, all right, I'm going to wait 30 seconds and then I'll fight again. It's no point fighting this ridiculous Greek army right now.
Well, that was such a nice reaction time from RecoN. Boom, there's bronze. Boom, the restoration. Yo, he's out of there. Same thing with the lightning storm that we saw later on. Just such an immediate reaction from RecoN. It was just excellently handled. Those god powers, those game-ending god powers, were just excellently handled by RecoN, man. Really well done.
Seen Pegasus Rush play Greek and Zeus in particular on water. And what he does, the reason he makes it work is because when he uses his god powers, he is pretty much under his opponent's town center, where your opponent cannot decide to just run away. He's hitting the timing at the best possible moment, and he's got his unit in place just when he needs it to, when they need to be there. And then yeah, he's forcing his opponent to fight it. Whereas what happened in this case was RecoN just said, "All right, I'm fleeing." But Pegasus
Mm.
Rush will do all in his power to avoid that.
Indeed. Having said that, game number 4 coming in hot, folks. We have RecoN in the blue, playing Loki. Down here on the bottom left side, really nice amount of starting hunt. Hello, rhinos. Hello, gazelles. Super nice. Okay. And then on the other side, we have player going for an Egyptian pick, going for Ra, getting his monument out, looking good. Same amount of delicious hunt. Very nice. Yeah, I think it's one thing real quick, Soup, is that we were talking about the Axeman against the Herseer. I just saw a little scowl from you. What is it? Are you questioning his build order choice here? What was that about?
Yeah, it's just such a weird build order he's doing.
Go on, Mr. Build Order King. Go on, go on.
Well, Ra has that. You can empower a monument with the Pharaoh playing as Ra, and then
Okay.
everything in the area will be empowered. But player is not doing that. Instead, he's
Oh
using
yeah.
his Pharaoh on the granary, his priest on the monument, and now he's empowering the gold mine with the priest. And resultingly, he's not scouting the map. Well, he's doing it now, I guess. But now the gold miners aren't being empowered. So I don't know. This what?
Sorry, I thought we were gonna see a little trap there, but we see a spy instead.
Yeah. I mean, this is an interesting build order from player. He's he's got how many? 7 on food right now, only 2 on gold. So empowering the granary rather than the monument means he's got a better food income and a slightly inferior gold income. So yeah, this could be good from player actually.
Yeah, so explain that. You can empower the monument and everything around the vicinity gets empowered, but not at the same empowerment strength, as if a pharaoh was just empowering a single building. So he's prioritizing that as good as possible food income, empowering the
Yeah.
granaries.
So
That's
the AOE effect that you get is about 2/3 as effective as
yeah.
just empowering with the on the granary, for example. So these small little calculations you have to do while you're playing Ra. I like to just say, nah, forget it. I'm empowering the monument, and then I'll focus on scouting, and I'm focused on what am I doing this game and stuff like that instead. But this is such a sick obelisk from player. Look at this. He's scouting
Mm,
very aggressively down there.
that
This
is very
tells me
aggressive.
this tells me that he's going for classical age fighting, and he wants to starve RecoN off of resources.
Well, he's gonna see the gold. Yep, he sees the gold mine right here. I was gonna mention that gold mine a little bit earlier. That if player does go aggressive and if he does maintain or manage to get some kind of a map control, that gold mine is maybe a little bit sensitive right there.
Yeah, especially to Wadgets with their
Mm,
16 range or whatever it is, can be
mhm.
really hard to stop as a Norse player with the Axemen, with the aforementioned Axemen as bodyguards.
Yeah, absolutely. Forseti's
Presetti,
coming in. Yep,
Presetti, good choice. You know, I mentioned that Wadgets are hard to deal with, but Healing Spring right next to the gold mine, really good counter to it. Because
sure.
the Wadgets rely on poison damage, you know, damage over time, but
Mhm.
then the Healing Spring will alleviate that greatly.
Indeed. Having said that, vodka, real quick, I wanna what are the other food options? We haven't really mentioned the food options just yet for our Loki player RecoN. There's some yeah, that's the far right corner. Over on the blue side, you know, that's what I'm thinking of because by all means, to get those Herser numbers out, just Norse in general, you want those. There's some monkeys down on the bottom side. Not a lot of food options on the bottom, but there is some rhinos up top. I don't believe he has RecoN has scouted those. However, seeing those ghosts that have not been claimed,
I
zebras,
think
and
there's
so
a
there's
pack of
options up there.
gazelles to the right. That's probably his best option.
I think those were monkey. Oh, the forward and right
Yeah,
is what you're
exactly.
looking
But
at.
pretty sure a player can stop that. So it's rough for
That's
RecoN here for sure.
That's what I'm saying, man. Especially like, you know, you need that hunt as Norse, but you also really need that hunt if you want to go for those strong Herseer. But again, the Herseer, they suffer so hard to the against the Axemen. Things can get a little bit complicated in the classical age, honestly, unless he really goes for the big time. If he gets a lot of myth units out, I think maybe that's a possibility for a Loki player to Eyes in the Forest coming in.
It is a possibility if he manages to get favor somehow. But remember,
Yeah,
in order to get that favor, you need to fight.
yeah.
And what are you gonna fight if if your opponent is making?
Obelisks.
Oh yeah,
Gotta
I
fight
guess
obelisks.
fight zebras on the map.
Yeah. Yeah, hyenas, zebras,
The
etc. All the
zebras,
good stuff.
the zebras and the monkeys and so on, they do actually net you some favor, but it's very limited. It's not enough to support a real myth unit spam strategy. What is this relic? Who's gonna get it?
It's a race to the relic. It's a race to the relic.
Was it a good one? That's what I'm interested in.
I will take a look at it here in just a second.
Oh my
Okay.
god, it's the Chairs of Sivili once again.
RecoN's got this game then, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta net give this one to RecoN then. Yeah. Let's look at players' army. Yeah, it is Wadgets, Axemen, and the Priest to boot. Ooh, he can stop the Herser here. Player kind of sleeping on the job. Maybe he's gonna find it now. Would be such a nice kill onto this Herser if he can manage to do so.
Hall of Thanes is coming in though, Soup. Hall of Thanes is coming in, so if he can zip away real quick, that would be nice. Golden Lions. It's all about those Golden Lions. I don't think he's gonna get it.
Oh,
Now.
it's not gonna get it. And the Priest nearby to take the relic now.
Is he gonna pick it
Yeah,
up? He
there
picks
we
it
go.
up.
These are the early
On,
skirmishes we love to see, isn't it?
well, on the other side, I think maybe on the berries, we have some Herseer hitting the berries. Boom, there we
One
go.
villager kill. It's a
Not
nice
bad,
retribution
man.
kill here for RecoN, but just keep in mind, he lost a Herser, he lost Berserk right there. We didn't get to see it because there was a raid going on. But yeah, all in all, it's hard to say who came out on top here. Wow, actually RecoN going for this hunt. I'm not sure player knows this, does he? Does he even know that there are rhinos?
Well, I mean, although his army is
Ooh, he's
headed
going there.
that way.
Oh wait, he
But
doesn't know.
no,
Maybe
he
he's
only went
lucky.
around the bottom side for obelisks, so he's just scouting in the dark right now. And I mean, since he might not find what?
Let's see, let's see. This is gonna be big. This is gonna be big.
What is happening here? Where are they going? So what is happening? What is happening here? Player, what are you doing?
This is really good from player. This looked a bit wacky what was going on, but keep in mind RecoN took all his hunters, went over to the left side, killed the rhino, and now he has to retreat back into his home base. So he had so much idle hunter time there, and that's a big win for player.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Player needs to be a little bit careful, however. If his forward army, ooh, Sobek pretty cute. He's nowhere near going Sobek, but he's thinking about it. Okay, maybe not. I was gonna say I saw a lot of RC numbers, raiding cavalry numbers coming out. So with the Herseer and the RC, maybe he can actually fight this army of player that's forward and pick it off. He needs to be a little bit careful, is all I'm saying.
In this matchup, it can be really hard to play Ra because you gotta figure out: am I hard committing to fighting classical, or do I need to go heroic age at some point? And I think right now, seeing the pre-queue of Sobek already, I guess player has said, "All right, I'm gonna take my pedal off the metal or whatever it is you say, and I'm gonna return to my base, gonna get Sobek, and probably look to add in camelry, maybe even those laser crocodiles that are really strong."
We haven't seen a lot of laser crocs, man. Not a ton, at least, not a ton, especially against Ra. At least recently, Sekhmet and those nasty slingers have definitely been the way to go. Players' choices for the most part. But we're gonna see Sobek this time. So
Yeah,
Eh,
I think so. Something really nice about Sobek is that you get the Locust Swarm rather than the Citadel, which means as soon as you hit heroic, you get a real nice power spike. You can use that Locust Swarm either to kill off however many villagers you hit, or you can aid your military in a big skirmish, and you can maybe try to target off the throwing axemen, the hearses in front, or whatever it is.
yep, yep. And real quick, before we talk about heroic too much soup, yeah, I started to mention, there was just a patch the other day for Retold, and there's some spectator struggles as we see a little bit of a
Good snipe
some
there.
aggressive, yeah, picking off a
Hey, where are
priest.
the
That's really nice.
lions? Has the lions relic not been secured? Is that what he's walking around with there?
Oh,
Don't tell me. Player.
I gotta get this out though, soup. I gotta get this out. Wait, do I? He shifts on the
Oh,
gold mine, but the
that's
dwarves are
nice.
running.
That's a really good shifting sense. That's a really good shifting sense. One dwarf dead, two dwarves dead, soon to be 3, 4, 5, however many. And RecoN does
But
not have a gold income right now.
is
He's...
it gonna use locust? No,
Oh,
no, no,
I
no, no,
don't
no.
think so. I don't think so. The wedges, see how strong they are.
Oh, the poison,
This is
man. That's
really
what
rough
gets
for
him.
RecoN. He's just hit Bragi now, and you know when you hit Bragi, you want to use that flaming weapons, and each extra military unit you can add to your army is huge with flaming weapons. And you know,
Absolutely.
just denying the gold income for RecoN for however long now, plus killing those dwarves, it's gonna amount to a lot for a player here. I love that shifting sands play.
That was good, but at the same time, his army is really slow because of the Wadgets, right? So that aggressive gold star play, it's not like you can go back and forth and back and forth. Since there's two gold mines on the opposite sides of RecoN, it's going to be a little bit tough to actually pull off the game-ending gold starve. He
Yeah.
can gold control. He can gold control to get ahead, but you know that big gold starve, straight up gold starve, is maybe going to be a little bit difficult to pull off. His army is just so slow, but it
But
is really strong.
even just doing this, walking around with your slow army, yeah, it looks a bit wacky and it's not very, it doesn't feel so clean. I'll give you that. But he's forcing the gold miners to walk back and forth, and we just saw the gold miners on
Speaking
the
of
left.
gold miners walking back and forth, we see,
Oh,
yeah, nice raid,
yeah,
man.
that's
The
the spy on the
spied
river.
Vil.
Sick, sick, sick.
Speaking of idle time and dead Vils, baby, you know, RecoN getting a little bit of counter damage here, which is really nice.
That's a good raid from RecoN. 4 raiding cavalry managing to deal that much damage. Such a good raid.
Big time, big time. But also, not only does he idle eco, kill a couple of villagers, he also forces player to come back home and play some defense, which gives
Like he's
RecoN
forcing the
breathing.
Twin's Spearmen now to come back. It's insane raid, and even though those 4 RC dies,
They
he's
did a good
raiding over.
job defending. But they need to get over to the other side real quick. Yo, how many Vils are here? 5, 6 Vils? All 5 or however many of those should 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They should all be dead, man. There's 4.
Dude, player, you're raw with Ta. Why are
Ooh,
you out hunting now? Shouldn't you be home farming?
that's a very good point, Soup. That is a very good point.
Dude, RecoN is doing a tremendous job here. I thought he was in some serious trouble, but he just 2 really, really good raids in a row, plus managing to not die to the big army here of player. Just means
Yeah.
that all of a sudden it looks like RecoN is in control of the game now.
But this obelisk is
Oh,
gonna
look to
give
the left,
him
look to the left.
vision. Ooh,
That's
dude, this is so exciting! Gold control on both sides, dead Vils on both sides. And look at the Vil numbers, yo. Look at the Vil numbers, 33 to 34. We're basically at the same eco numbers. Micto coming in.
still gonna die to the west. He's been nice.
I think you have to join the Okay.
I'm here. Are you here, Maiden?
Yes, and hopefully we don't sound like robots right now. Speaking of robots, let's see if the robot RecoN can save this gold mine right here. Big
Huge
raid
raid,
coming.
forcing the villager berserk conversion. Sick local swarm, such a good local swarm, hitting both the military and the villagers.
Oh, and it travels and got a couple of dwarves at the end. Oh, nice, man. Players ahead in eco. He might lose this. That's a lot of spears, man. That's a lot of spears. There are no axes in that army, so
Dude,
those Herser are gonna do a good
are you
job.
seeing this? Like somehow player has managed to find himself 9 or 10 villagers ahead now. I swear,
Oh
just
yeah.
2 minutes ago it was the other way around.
Oh, dude, the game was so chaotic. Discord could barely handle it, man. It's so exciting.
And we're seeing the slinger transition in. Wait, I thought we saw the slinger transition. And maybe it was the we do see medium slingers. Do we have the electrum bullets in as well?
Yeah,
I
well,
thought I saw it
eventually.
cancelled. The electrum bullets upgrade. Not sure.
That's that
Ah,
dude.
it's there. It's
There
there.
it is.
Okay.
How
Okay.
crazy is that, man? That Raw against Loki, and you go for slingers. Back in the old days, that would be complete insanity, right?
It kind of is still insanity because you remember this is so big. There's no slings to the sun, so those
True.
slingers, even though they have the electrum bullets, they're not that good actually.
Yeah, they're still good, man. That's still
They're
divine
still
damage you're
good.
dealing.
Whoa.
Ooh, camels are pretty good at raiding, dude.
Flaming weapons is in, and shifting sand. Wow, such a good shifting sand. Not only does he flee from that big army, he also manages to defend his home base here.
He's still losing vills, dude. He's still losing vills. Look at the vill numbers. Look at the vill numbers, 33 to 30. These berserkers, they're just gonna hit that migdal. They can maybe pick off that migdal and maybe more villagers.
Berserk
Tons more
RecoN are
villagers.
so good.
Look at the vill numbers, so 26 to 30. Are you kidding me? Oh. And the throwing axemen and Goaty are coming in, man.
15 seconds remaining of flaming weapons. Player doesn't want to fight here, but the issue is if he doesn't fight, that Migdal is going down and all those mills will die too. So versus player just caught between a rock and a hard place here.
Indeed. And remember, this is match point. If RecoN and the blue takes this, he moves on to the semifinals, man. A freaking rock giant comes out. This is big. This is big. Is this game? 15 villagers. Look at this. 15 villagers, and his army is almost completely deleted. 69 population. Nice. Why are you? There goes the Sukos.
What happened here? How did RecoN set this up? That's such a sick setup for the flaming weapons. He managed. Wow, RecoN victory. Wow.
Oh my, what a game, man. Unfortunately, we don't get the game 5, but RecoN takes the series 3-1 in a very exciting and titillating fashion. Oh boy, what a way to start the day. Oh boy, I'm excited.
That was so sick from RecoN what he did there. The flaming weapons in the end, that was just he took so long. He took his dear time to set up that flaming weapons, but in the end, he managed to win on 2 fronts while he was using flaming weapons, forcing the shifting sands defensively, and then managing to eventually pull all his army together at that front gold mine where the Migdal was located and where something like 20 villages were located. So just massive, massive value from that flaming weapons.
Ooh, speaking of villagers, if we could see the villager timeline here in
Oh
just a
my
second,
god.
that's probably an interesting one. Village civilian units. Look at that. Duh, 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 duh. That's what- and at the end, 43 to 15 villagers.
That's so
Oh,
crazy. That is so
oh,
insane. And it's just, yeah, like I said, the flaming weapon setup from RecoN just perfectly executed here. He was struggling
wow.
multiple times throughout this game, but in the end, he got what he wanted, and that is that game-winning flaming weapons.
Wow. Dude, I think that this game would not have been very different, but the fact that player was exactly what you just said, he was hunting outside of his base. Why was he not farming and using rain inside of his base? Sure, he had to go X outside to the gold mine, so there was still potential for for Recon to, hit the gold mines, and he did, and, good job. But did he need to lose villagers on the food, on the granary outside of his base? I don't think so. I don't think it would have changed the game that much because of the exactly what you just mentioned with the flaming weapons push. But still, it was a little bit different, right?
It would have mattered. And like you're playing, whenever I play Ra, I have this really neat berry bush bonus, sure, but I often end up doing my farming transition before the berries are depleted anyways, right? So yeah, it's so it's baffling to me how he was hunting monkeys in the corner of the map there. I don't that shouldn't have happened, I think.